Welcome to the Mythic Movie Maker podcast, where we analyze movies from a mythological perspective. My name is John, and this is my brother Nick.
Hello.
All right, Nick. So we finally finished the third Avatar movie, the
And the
long-awaited,
final James Cameron movie.
perhaps. I don't
Perhaps
know.
this
For
could be the
me,
last one. This could legitimately be the last one.
well, I don't know, but because from in my screening there was a trailer for a Billie Eilish concert movie that he uh that
That
he
he's
made
directing.
that he directed.
Yeah, I saw that same trailer.
So that might be the last bow on his legacy.
Yeah, like way to end with a whimper. I actually think the movie theater experience was improved this movie.
This movie this movie for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I did have to pull my phone out and take notes on Notepad.
I did the same thing. My strategy is I just sit in the way back.
Yeah, I did. That's what I did. All right. Do you have a quote?
Do you have a quote?
I do. There's one really early on that
Okay,
I almost
that's
did, but I ended up
okay.
going with
That's probably what I did.
the yeah. It's I probably have it written down right next to it, but it's the one that I ended up going with is when you touch steel, the poison seeps into your heart.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Steel is sort of the opposite of everything that Eywa represents. Eywa is sort of this fluid, earthy, spiritual, sort of ever-changing, always morphing sort of thing.
Hmm.
And steel is just, it's it's stuck is in what it is. It's not connected. It's not living. Everything in
Yeah,
Pandora is living.
it's hard and cold and dead, trapped in its existing form, I guess.
Yeah, it's trapped. Yeah, whereas like we find out in this movie, you're not trapped. If you believe in Eywa, you're not trapped, basically.
Do you have your quote? Or
My quote is probably the same as your quote. Well, was there any more that you wanted to say about steel poisoning you?
just that like that's clearly the intention of the movie. I think that's one of those points where the one of the characters like looks directly at the camera and tells you what the theme is.
Hmm.
But it's kind of like the bad Navi were already bad, and then the
Yeah.
guns just made them more effective.
Yeah. They really liked the guns
They really liked the guns.
and the
They were
flamethrower.
huge fans. Yeah.
Obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, yeah. Mine was sort of about the fire people, I suppose, which is when you ride the beast, you become the beast.
That's exactly what I had written down. That was my second option.
And the more blood, the better. What do you think that's talking about? Kind
Well, I think
of,
it's kind of carrying on from the previous movie of like
which is a
uh
common theme in this movie.
yeah, which is like uh when you become a warrior, you bring war with you wherever you go.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
that's where Jake's mindset is this whole movie is he's sort of
he's
stuck in between, do I want to be the spiritual moral guy that listens to the way of Awa and is peaceful, or do I want to win and control and make war and defeat, you know? And he's
yeah,
he's
because
sort of caught between that the whole movie.
yeah, like it's and then at towards the end when he goes back to Taruk and he's sort of like monologuing as he approaches the dragon, and his like he's like, oh well, Taruk is going to come along for sure because there'll be so much blood.
Who is Taruk again?
The big red flying monster, the one that he
Oh
tamed
yeah,
at the end of the first movie.
that's right.
So that was his offer to Taruk was all of the blood that there's gonna be.
What?
Honestly, like it's probably good. Like they're making Pandora a little more violent uh than the first two movies.
Yeah, but still, like I thought this, like we didn't we think this was gonna be like the
I
big
thought this,
violent movie?
yeah. Well, this was. I think this one has the most combat of any of the movies so far.
True.
But like, what
They
I mean by
both.
like,
The last movie has to be like Lord of the Rings style, where like it's like the whole half of the movie is gonna be a giant battle, like
yeah.
it
But
kind of should
what
be.
when I was saying about making Pandora more violent, I was kind of referring to the denizens of Pandora being dangerous in a way that we
Hmm.
hadn't really seen since the first movie.
Hmm.
Like the like
Uh
Taruk is brought into the battle by like an offering of slaughter essentially,
huh.
and then all these like Ash Navi are finally we get to see some evil Navi,
Uh
uh,
huh.
and they're just sort of revel in violence in a way that's probably not even to their own benefit.
No, it's destructive, so destructive that it's self-destructive. Yeah. Well, let's talk about them. Okay, well, first off, I want to get something off my chest, which is I think that this is a brilliantly structured movie, but a horribly told movie. Spider's role in this is like we were more told his role than anything. Like nothing about him is intuitive, Like I had no the thought did not enter my head ever that like the humans are going to steal his ability,
Yeah,
to
it's quite clear that the reason that he's able to breathe is due to Navi space magic that cannot be replicated.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like I think that's kind of the point that Jake doesn't understand that and that Quaritch doesn't understand that.
Well, Quaritch doesn't
Yeah,
even care. He wants Spider because he's his son.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, and that might be an interesting thing too, is like maybe it comes to the point where Quaritch has to kill Spider to be able to use his powers for all of humanity or something, maybe in a future movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
like
their
it
relationship is really interesting.
yeah, they're really strange.
Strange, yeah.
But you can kind of understand that Quaritch really respects loyalty.
Hmm.
So that despite the fact that Spider keeps denying him, like it doesn't like no amount of like Spider can keep refusing him forever, and he'll never lose respect for Spider because Spider is just maintaining his loyalty to Jake.
Yeah, and there's also kind of a freaky side to Quaritch that we're learning about,
Oh, with
which is like I think he likes sort of a little bit of he liked how badly that Navi, the Ash Queen, treated him. You know, like I don't know.
yeah,
It's,
it's
it's like I don't know for someone that likes structure so much. Like he was very he was
he went
very
native almost immediately.
almost immediately. Yeah,
Like it took
it's a
it
three
took
hour
all
movie. They could have taken more time,
yeah,
and he was
but
just so seduced by it.
yeah, like they're not their first encounter, but the first encounter in their village.
Hmm.
He was just all they were just already basically a couple
Yeah,
within minutes of meeting each other.
yeah. I mean, they had stuff in common, but I don't know. It's just sort of funny to me that like Quaritch, he loves people to respect him, but it's like he's kind of seduced by people who reject him, also. Like or are mean to him, I guess, like
He is
Spider and in a much different way, the Ash Queen.
and very he's a little obsessed or a lot obsessed with Jake too.
Yeah, he's
Like there's
obsessed with Jake. Yeah.
like there between this movie and the last movie, there's so many scenes where they fight and they fight and they fight and then they like some contrivance causes them to not fight anymore.
Hmm.
and it's almost structured like a romantic comedy
Uh-huh.
where like where like the two leads are like, oh, I hate him, and the other one's like, oh, I hate her. Oh, we've sparred so many times, and then like and they spar again, and then by the end of the movie, I was expecting like half expecting,
I know you mentioned that.
yeah, it was
Like Jake and Quaritch to kiss.
yeah.
But I mean, okay, so let's analyze really quickly. Why in romantic comedies is that always important? Like
Uh,
for the two people to not only not get along, but be kind of polar opposites at the beginning.
well, every story is built on conflict,
Hmm.
and the audience already knows that the two leads are going to get together. So you have
You're
to,
playing with that expectation.
yeah, and the two leads have to be seem compatible to the audience. So
Okay, well, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to contrive reasons for that conflict to happen.
Well, in more of a thematic sense, though. Okay, like I understand
Okay,
the storytelling sense of it, but in
okay.
like a like thematic, it works because it speaks to the way that people are. It kind of
Well, like
does happen.
if the love is good, then it has to be then earning the love has to be coincidentally hard. It has to be like the tribulations have to be difficult, or the reward looks less impressive. Like it's if you don't like in a story sense, if you don't,
Yeah, yeah, but no, I mean
in like a thematic.
in a
No.
thematic
I
people
think
dealing with each
thematically.
other sense.
Oh,
You
I think
know,
thematically too. Like
so think not a movie. Think
not a
like
movie.
if there's two people that are start off as opposites, they're strangely attracted to each other. Like even and they don't know it yet, but they hate each other on the outside, but they're actually there's an inner attraction that they have to find towards the other person, you know?
Oh, that the things that are different about them are surface level, and the things that bring them together are much deeper.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's the surfaces bouncing against each other.
Yeah. I would also say like you're meeting your match, you know? That's what it feels like to meet your match. There's a danger to that. You
Mm-hmm.
know? Like if you meet your match, you can't beat this person, you know? And they can't beat you. You're like equally matched. So you can either fight forever or become friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can fight for a long time, but ultimately you can decide to become friends and then it'll be over.
Yeah, and that is it seems to be like what they're doing with the Quaritch character is that he's even in movie number two, he was making movements towards going native. And in this one, that's happened a lot stronger.
Yeah,
He's
well,
also butting heads with the general a lot more and being in conflict with the humans.
oh yeah, he walks around that place like yeah, like it isn't like a multi-billion dollar military base of operations.
Yeah, like
He walks
he showed.
around like it's like he's like a disgruntled employee at a Pizza Hut, you know.
Yeah,
It's like yeah. There's a lot of
yeah, like
serious people around and he's just like treats it like a game and he's not even like trying to hide it anymore. He's like, "But my son's out there."
yeah,
It's, it's like at least like give them
yeah.
yeah, give
Especially
them
because
a pretext.
he would have the best possible excuse to go out and get Spider, which is like, hey, we can study him and learn how to turn humans into air breathers.
Yeah,
But
but
he
he
doesn't even
doesn't.
bother. He doesn't even bother with the pretext.
No. Yeah. But I do like what you said about Quaritch. Quaritch is slowly turning native. The first time it was he became an avatar, you
Yeah,
know, like literally. So, but that wasn't really his decision. That was just the best way to fight,
Yeah,
I think.
and
He wasn't really interested in becoming an avatar himself, other than the power it brought him, maybe.
yeah,
Um,
I think I can actually pinpoint the moment where he starts on the path,
mm,
which is when they're trying to tame the sky creatures, and they like tranquilize one of them,
hmm
and then Spider makes fun of him.
Yeah, yeah, and then he feels he needs to prove himself to Spider. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he does the dangerous way of linking up with the sky monster and tamed it the Navi way.
hmm But also his own way too. Like, I don't know. I felt like he was much more violent than Jake was. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't feel that way. I know he was much more violent. Like,
Yeah,
didn't he
he's
like punch it on the
that's him
head
as
or something?
yeah, that's him as a character, his violence.
But yeah, I would say so. But he's still, nowhere close to where even Jake is, and Jake isn't even really. Like, I would say Spider is at this point more of a Na'vi than Jake.
So that actually dovetails with I think the not the primary theme, but like a very strong through line of all the movies, which is the hybridization
Yeah.
of human and Navi is just becoming stronger and stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we started off with like the avatars, and then we have like the human technology is looking more and more animal like, and
Did
now
that
even
carry
like
through into this movie though? Like
well
I was
no
looking for it
we
in
didn't
this
see any
movie.
new like any new robots, but we did but like Spider turning into a human with tiny bits of Navi, where the avatars are like fully Navi with tiny bits of human, and then Quaritch sort
Yeah.
of or and the Quaritch and the Fire Navi blending cultures of Sky people and Navi to a more significant extent than Jake Sully even.
Yeah. And then there's a good example of it going the other way where the Na'vi are becoming more human
Yeah,
with
with
Neytiri.
yeah using
And
the RPG arrows.
uh-huh. That was just such a funny symbol to use because it's so goofy.
Yeah.
But it is a symbol for that hybridization that you were talking about. And she rejected
Mhm.
it at first, and then she realized that, the necessity of it, I guess.
Yeah, which is kind
But
of good because that was kind of signaling that she was going to eventually start treating Spider as family. She's
yeah,
will she broke down the wall a little bit about all humans being bad and all and be like, no, I need these things in order to get done what I need to get done, even if I'm not super fond of them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that is a good thing about the movie too, is like, and we'll go through all of them, but everybody had a very significant character change in this, um, and that speaks to the whole of the movie.
Yeah,
Um, and speaking of the RPG thing, real quick, when she like threw it on the ground in the hut when Jake first gave it to her,
you
I'm
thought it was gonna blow up.
well, I mean. I thought that it could.
Yeah,
If I were Jake, I would be like, "Don't do that."
yeah.
But anyway, um, okay. So one of the things that I wanted to say, what a little bit ago was the storytelling in this was really hard for me. Like, remember when like I didn't care at all about what happened to Spider. In fact, I don't like Spider. I don't think he's a great character. I don't like it. I don't like it much. Like
Oh
if
yeah,
he
yeah.
was
Like I brought this up last episode where
yeah,
I thought where like like the character annoys me. The
the
way the
actor
actor plays the character annoys
yeah.
me. The
He's
just
used
like
he's used like a baton or a tool just to make the story work a lot of times.
yeah, he was kind of a MacGuffin like in this
Yeah.
movie.
And he doesn't really have I mean, I don't know. And his
He's like one of those
personality
characters.
kind of derives from that too,
Well,
which is kind of
he's
empty.
like what is a flaw that Spider has?
Um, well, I mentioned last time he's delusional.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I guess that counts.
yeah,
But like
and
his his
headstrong. He
his
does have
his
qualities of his dad.
yeah, well his delusion of being Navi is actually proving true.
Yeah, actually,
So
I thought about that too. Is like, yeah, if you're delusional enough, sometimes it just comes true. Well, in the world of
yeah, like
Pandora more so than
like like
our
every
world.
it is really annoying like how incredibly vulnerable he is at all times.
I know.
Like it just feels like some piece of flora or fauna could just kill him instantly, and he's just like gallivanting around the jungle.
Or he
You
just
know,
keeps his mask on too long, and that'll kill him.
yeah, like
He's so
it's like
weak.
it's like the character himself knows that he can't die.
But so I kind of was annoyed that the whole movie sort of got thrust into action because of some decision about him. Like it was like, what do we do about Spider? Well, we'll give him to the air people. I don't know. Why
Yeah.
that makes sense. And then
Well, I think the idea was to give him to the traders, and the traders would take him to
to the tree
the
people.
to the good, yeah, to the tree people who have the good scientists who have the the means of keeping a human alive,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and he can live inside you know,
their pod
their
thing.
pod
Yeah.
without a mask. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. But then they all decide to go with him. Do you remember what the reason was? They all just decide to go with him.
I think the reason was that he was going to refuse to go,
Oh,
and that
okay.
this was their compromise. Was like, hey, you're not you're not going to stay here anymore, but we'll travel with you, there, and we'll keep you company.
Oh, okay. That was a better one than I remember because what I remember is like Jake just said, "It'll be an adventure."
Yeah,
Do you remember that? He
yeah,
literally said, "It'll be an adventure." And it's like, "Okay, we're going in the first act." Movie starting. And it also answers one of your questions from last time too, which is remember we were talking about like so there's going to be a water, fire, air, earth. And you
yeah.
were
So there's
like,
definitely
are the Navi, are the original forest Navi, are those air or earth?
they're definitely the Earth
And
because the
now they're now, yeah, because
yeah
it's obvious that there's a complete air civilization as well.
yeah
And James Cameron, he doesn't no other filmmaker makes you root for aliens killing humans more than him.
yeah.
Like during the whole battle at the end, like it was just like, yeah, go fuck that human. Go fuck them up.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. When the Australian whale hunter guy died,
Or did
aside
he?
from my belief that he died in the first movie, it seemed really clear that he had died.
I don't
But
know.
his his
I didn't
his
see a
death,
scene where his hand was moving and then stopped moving,
oh, of course,
clearly indicating death.
yeah. But at least he's
Or
dead for sure now.
or
And his death was a lot of Schadenfreude.
yeah, he was
I was
pretty.
happy.
Well, okay, so the last thing I wanted to say because I want to give a compliment sandwich. So I thought a lot of the plot points, especially having to do with Spider, were very contrived. I like the seams were showing very clearly in the movie to me as like,
Hmm.
oh, this is just an excuse to go do this, you know. But I will say I didn't care about any of it. I also didn't care that most of the story just repeated itself from the last two movies,
Yeah, like I actually
which
didn't
was its
mind
number
that.
one criticism I've seen.
Oh, I haven't looked into but
Oh, oh,
like it's kind of what the structure of the movie has to be. It has to be, oh, here's a new group of Navi people. This is what they're like. Then the Sky people. it's a little dumb that the sky people just keep walking into giant ambushes,
You mean the
like
humans?
the humans.
Yeah, because
That
now
the
we have.
humans just
Oh, there's Sky Navi, or I guess they're the Wind Navi. Okay,
they're the
yeah.
wind now. Okay, well we're just gonna call them the humans.
Okay.
Yeah, like that the humans lose a giant battle in the first movie by walking into an obvious ambush. They lose a giant battle in the second movie by walking into an obvious ambush. Then the third movie, they're just like, okay, we'll get them. We'll take all of our things, and we're just gonna push them right into this obvious ambush.
Yeah. And not only that, but in the second movie and the third movie, the ambush and the reason for the ambush are exactly the same, which is a tycoon hunt.
Yeah.
That
Although,
annoyed
okay,
me a little bit. It's
so that
like
okay,
we
I
can't think of
actually,
another another thing to fight have the battle over. It's got to be the tycoon hunt
so
again.
I thought that the second movie was an incredibly dumb side story. Like I was 100% sure that we were never going to see the water people again, and that
We
it
saw
was just
quite
a
a bit of them this one.
and that the entire second movie was just a dumb waste of time that had nothing germane to the overarching plot. But they like I actually do like the fact that their relationship with the water people and the whales and everything remained relevant into this part of the series.
That's true. I agree with
Like,
that.
yeah.
And, James Cameron is working on a very long form style of telling the story as well. So, like, we have frustrations about it moving so slowly,
Hmm.
but that's just because I think it just is a long story. There are things that are happening and progressing, they're just taking a really long time to happen. And I'm kind of forgiving of that.
Every movie has to be its own story
Well, that too.
that's self encapsulated. Then it also needs to like spend some time like moving forward the big narrative of the series.
Yeah. If each one wasn't its own movie and it culminated in a giant battle, and we didn't have to have because this movie without the giant battle at the end would be such a letdown, you know. So,
Yeah.
but I wonder if it was just like a 10-hour movie and you didn't need to have a battle every movie, what the story would look like.
Um,
It would just take its time setting everything up.
gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you, you
It would
could cut
suck.
that down to 3.5 hours and have it just be the first movie. That was a pretty self-encapsulated story.
It was, yeah, but there were, okay, so tell me then, are there questions still left to be answered? Because at the end of the first movie, there were still humans on the planet, and we still didn't really understand the Eywa thing that much.
I mean,
And
like things are allowed to be mysterious,
yeah, but well,
and
what I'm
it
asking
seemed pretty
is,
clear that like the the way that the first movie portrayed its last 10 minutes made it really seem like the
yeah,
humans no longer had any foothold on the planet.
that is kind of how it felt. Yeah.
And then the beginning of the second movie is the humans with a giant mega ship landing on the planet. So that like the story was over. The humans were gone. And then the second movie starts a new story by having the humans land on the planet again.
Well, so there it is then. So the point of the movie is the point that James Cameron's trying to make with Avatar isn't to just kick the humans out. It's something grander than that.
Yeah, like some kind of like unified Navi people or
Like an integrate
system.
that's what I was thinking is like,
Yeah, like an integration of the tribes where they're all providing their culture to this greater Navi people.
hmm yeah, the humans where the humans learn to be Na'vi and the the Na'vi gain from what humans have to offer as well, I think
Mhm.
I think that's sort of where James Cameron actually wants to go. It's not just like a typical like good guys won sort of thing, and the bad guys were vanquished. I think he's trying to integrate the good guys with the bad guys so that, it's not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good guys and
like
bad guys. It's just,
yeah, like
it's
like a thesis, antithesis, synthesis type thing.
hmm yeah, exactly. I think that's a more sophisticated, very restrained, more restrained story to tell. It kind of does justify the length um of it. But one
I
thing,
think that
yeah.
like I feel like the pruning shears could have been exercised.
I mean, yeah.
It's,
But at the same time, this is what I was gonna say. I I just the only thing I really care about when I watch one of these movies now is just being in Pandora. Like it's just such a joy to be in the world because it's so well thought out, and it has a internal consistency, and
mhm.
to the point where I'm like intuitively understanding the logic of the Eywa religion, and it's completely made up. It's just so
Yeah.
well thought out.
Well,
And
I feel like that like this isn't the correct medium for this story. I feel like I feel like a you know a series of 1,000-page fantasy novels or sci-fi novels would be the best way to like explore this.
well, I mean, James
Or you,
Cameron is a giant fan of sci-fi and fantasy. And so this does feel like a movie version of one of those like 1,000-page, exhaustive fantasy books.
yeah, with with way too many characters that each have their own point of view chapters and
Uh-huh. And then the
uh
mythology of the land and everything.
yeah,
Like,
and I just think that that storytelling style is not for film. Like
yeah, it could be. Although,
because
yeah.
I bet if James Cameron like if you asked him and say like how long would the movie be if you were unconcerned by the economics of selling to theaters, like James Cameron would probably tell you that every one of these movies would be 5 hours long. I don't
Yeah.
like I made the joke earlier that he doesn't know how to use the pruning shears, but I think these movies are as short as he can possibly be willing to make them.
I was just dazzled the whole there wasn't,
Oh yeah,
it
visually it's really impressive, and then
yeah,
they
the
like
design of everything is just beautiful, and
yeah,
the
like
the
my
filmmaking
favorite
of it is
scene of
beautiful.
the movie was actually like it was just set up for the end, but when they go out into like the too deep water and you get to meet a new creature, which is those like squid shark things
Hmm.
that show up at the very end.
Yeah.
Like those like that was a like seeing this new creature in their own environment was pretty neat.
Well, and the air things too, like the air hot air balloon
Oh yeah, like
guys, and
yeah, the weird floaty squid things.
yeah, and the flux storm or the flux devil.
Yeah.
um and I also like that he doesn't explain any of those things either. They just show up. So it kind
Mhm.
of feels like you're like an anthropologist, like exploring Pandora when you're watching the movie. You're like, what's
Yeah.
that thing over there? Oh, that's a flux devil. Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. And like I think
Wonder
yeah,
what
like
that does. No one ever explains it to you. It just,
yeah, like a novel would be good. I think a video game would actually also be
a video game. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
because you're interacting with all the stuff and everything.
Yeah, and like the actual like the nature and capabilities of all these random monsters would actually be really germane to what you're trying to accomplish. But it's yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all that's just to say is just like I have never had a moment of boredom ever, no matter watching any of the Avatar movies. Even though they're long, And and even though they're repetitive, and I've watched them multiple times, the
I,
same
I've
ones
I
multiple times.
so I actually I think that at I was concerned that there was going to be like a downward trajectory with the
Hmm.
series, but I think this is better than the second one. I think it was like the first one was still the best. There's a little dip or a significant dip for the second one, and then we're kind of like going like
Yeah.
improving things with this one.
But yeah, but not a huge dip. Like I felt like they're all pretty like yeah, I feel like they're all pretty similarly good. The first one was clearly the best.
Yeah, I don't know. On second watch, I developed a fairly negative opinion of the second one. And I was really expecting this one to be bad, and like I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and you had a well, you also went in thinking it was going to be bad too.
Yeah,
So that's why I
yeah.
tried not to influence you at all because I was going to say, well, I think you're going to like it. But anyway, do you have another note?
Nothing on that topic, but I think we're gonna have to get into a very large topic eventually,
Okay, let's
which
go.
is this. I think that the main crux of the movie is kind of like these the dichotomy of these two viewpoints of like the way of fire and the way of water.
Definitely.
They make
Yeah.
a very big deal about like what fire is and what fire does to you, and the humans' technology is very fire coded, and then like water is purity and peace and
Yeah,
going with the
well,
flow and living with nature
yeah.
rather than trying to
And connectedness, whereas fire
yeah.
is destruction,
Hmm.
you know.
Like when like the evil oracle lady gets her flamethrower for the very first time, immediately the very first thing she does is burn down some huts of her own people.
Yeah. I noticed that too. She doesn't care at all.
Like she lights their homes on fire just to see them burn. Yeah, like the
That is a good point.
how incredibly destructive they are is, and I guess antisocial.
Well, she had a couple of qualities. Well, first off, like her story, her backstory. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
About how
that
she became like a fire Satanist sort of,
well, she was
type.
they were forest people, and then like the world, like nature betrayed them by having a big volcanic eruption burn down their forest.
Hmm.
So like if nature is going to destroy everything I love and make me have to scramble to survive, then fuck Eywa.
Yeah. Well, that was the sentiment. Yeah, was they're fighting nature. Like they're actually actively fighting nature and by destroying it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which the it's even worse than what the humans are doing because the humans are just trying to like they're kind of like not really understanding what they're doing. They're going after their own self-interest.
Yeah,
But the fire avatar people, they're actively just like in a war with nature. Like they're actively hate nature. And they're power hungry too. So they're trying to control it by killing it, I guess. Like
well, yeah, like it's like
instead of yeah,
it's
instead of living with it like you were saying about the water people, they're destroying it rather than live with it, you
yeah,
know.
they're not they're like even when they're like attacking the wind people, they're not behaving like pirates.
Yeah.
They're not boarding these vessels and taking their stuff. They're burning them down and shooting them out of the sky and then like picking through the wreckage.
Yeah. They if it was just about robbing them, they could just go in and be like, "Hey, this is a stick up," and the air people would probably just pay them off. But that's
Yeah.
not what I mean, that's what the humans would do. Like the humans don't want to just kill for the sake of killing and destroying.
Yeah.
They end up doing that out of their own ignorance. But the fire people spite themselves with their own destruction. Like it's like her burning down her own huts, you know?
What's
Like
yeah, like in the very first scene where we see them, one of them lights himself on fire
yeah.
and then jumps into the blimp to blow it up.
Uh-huh. Just very
Whereas like
Mad
the
Max.
I was actually yeah, I was gonna make like a joke about Valhalla shiny and chrome type thing.
Immortan Joe.
Yeah, it's the Mad Max. Like I would actually be very surprised if there wasn't some Mad Max inspiration with these guys.
There's gotta be. Yeah, that was such an inspirational movie too. So that was one of the main things that I was trying to parse was the difference between the fire avatar and the humans, because they kind of feel like a similar enemy, but they're different.
Well, like the humans are faithless, and the Fire Navi are heretics.
Oh yes, great point. They are heretics. Yeah,
So like
they
they they
they
they, they
believe in
don't
Haywa and they want to destroy her.
yeah like it's they believe they've connected to the tree with their brain tendrils and communed with Eywa. They know Eywa is real for a fact. They've
Hmm.
seen Eywa themselves,
Hmm.
and they hate Eywa. It's real. Like earlier, you mentioned Satanism, and it's like that.
It kind of felt like they were coded as Satanists, like to the point where they're like, there's like a, like the hand thing, like the
Yeah,
drawing on the hand, and they're like doing this weird spell to control people.
yeah, and
You
there,
know?
there's this, and there's like some degree of like human sacrifice there.
Uh-huh. But
Uh,
mm, yeah, well, in what way? In what way? I think that's an interesting angle. Because there was also another scene that reminded me of a sacrifice in the movie.
oh, God, I forgot. There was definitely a scene where they were like ritually killing some people. I couldn't exactly put my finger on where it happened. Outside of the normal scalping that they seem to really like doing.
Yeah, that was actually gruesome, the feeling. Given what you know about
The hair braids,
the
yeah,
hair braids. And that's another thing that they never explained. They just showed it to you. Like that's basically killing your life force is cutting your hair braid off,
yeah,
right? Um
yeah. And then we finally got to see Sigourney Weaver like actually be the more powerful holy woman, where she
yeah. So well, Kiri, right? Her
Kiri, yeah,
her manifestation is Kiri.
yeah, where you kind of had a battle of the oracles where Kiri overpowers the Fire Lady.
I did like that. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I
Um
think I was I'm not a big fan of Kiri as a character, but I think that was a good way of using that character of
Yeah. Well, that was at the end, right? Like during
yeah,
the whole battle.
yeah, where she's had to resist the urge to engage with her shamanistic powers, I guess. Like oh, you'll have another seizure and that can kill you.
Uh-huh.
And then she's kind of pushing through that phase of her of self-doubt or whatever, and becoming the avatar of Eywa in some
That's
grand way.
right. That kind of is what she is the avatar of Eywa, actually. Yeah. So which is super powerful.
Yeah,
I think the lesson with her overpowering the Fire Lady is just, so the Fire Lady as well as Quaritch, their religion is actually power or like
dominance.
dominance. Exactly. And something we talked about in the last episode is, well, this is just a problem with civilization where any peaceful civilization will survive in a vacuum as a peaceful civilization. But when but when confronted with warlike civilization, the peaceful civilization will crumble because you know, they're just not equipped to out bad the baddest people, you know? And so what that turns into is just the worst people winning, which feels wrong to us
Yeah.
as like the bad people should lose. That's what we learn in movies. So why that moment was so great when Kiri, a little girl, but with the power of Eywa, with the power of good, moral, peaceful spirit, actually can overpower even the people, even the ones most obsessed with power and
Mhm.
evil, and are willing to do the worst things to that end, where the good Navi won't do a lot of things that are evil. But it's the power of good. That's the power of good triumphing over evil, right?
Yeah, and
And
I think it's
and
I think
good is actually it's both moral and it should be done, and it's more ultimately more powerful than evil, even though it doesn't seem that way.
yeah, I think it's also like to a certain extent she has like her magic is real in the extent that like the Fire Navi lady is sheer dominance and force of will. Meanwhile, Kiri is doesn't have that at all. Like she just asks Eywa for help and help
Yeah.
arrives. Um, and it's the reason why like she won this battle of wills is because it wasn't actually a battle of wills. It was this like the Oracle lady using her dominance and willpower when Kiri just has the magic.
Well, yes, that's completely true. But there's also another aspect of it, which is, the fire lady is forcing everyone to submit to her domination and controlling people, against their own will.
Yeah,
That's where her power comes from. Where Kiri's power comes from is submission. Like she submits herself. It's the total opposite of control. She submits herself to Eywa and says, begs Eywa and has total faith that Eywa will help them, and it's that faith, kind of that leap of faith
mm-hmm.
that allows her to win. And it's also the same reason why Spider, becomes a breathing Navi, Pandora breathing Navi, is because it's like the Luke Skywalker thing where he's not relying on the technology anymore. And he actually disdains the technology that keeps him alive,
Yeah, like
and
he
he
yells at it
submit
all the time. Yeah,
yeah. And he ends up, over the course of the movie, he ends up submitting himself completely, bearing himself completely to the powers of Eywa and completely faithfully. And he's rewarded for it, with
mm-hmm.
becoming an avatar. So I think that's like a major theme in the story is like that submission and that faith, which is counterintuitive how powerful that is, But and it's true in real life too. Like once you submit yourself to the fact that you have no power,
Mm-hmm.
it actually gives you power.
Well, also like if you just look at the reality of the world in current year, the warrior people, like any people that you can consider a warrior people, are huddled in tiny villages living in poverty.
That's what that does to a civilization. Yeah, like
Yeah,
people that are overtly warrior, yeah, people.
yeah,
Yeah. And they it destroys your civilization. In long term or in short term, it feels like you need to set the record straight, and
yeah.
you need to dominate over this other person, or they're going to dominate you. But in the generationally, that just will just repeat itself over and over, and you'll be caught in a just a endless circle of violence
Yeah.
doing that. It's
Yeah,
just never going to end.
you and your immediate neighbor are going to be fighting each other forever in
Yeah.
tiny little war bands
Yeah.
while the meek are building civilization.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that? And then that's what Jesus said with like the
The meek
whole,
shall inherit the earth.
yeah, the whole like Sermon on the Mount is filled with these like Confucianistic sounding like opposite things, you know?
Yeah.
And the wisdom of it actually comes out when you actually look at life in a grander lens.
Hmm. So there's some imagery that we could cover because we were talking about like the fire people versus the water people.
Uh-huh.
After Neytiri got done with her covert infiltration mission or whatever, there's this stream of sort of clear running water, and she's like washing the war paint
Yeah, I
of
like
the
that.
ash people, being cleansed of this negative influence. Then that
Whoa, whoa, wait.
action
We should start that whole thing from the beginning of it though, because that was my favorite scene of the whole movie.
was her like sneaking into the human camp.
Yeah. So the humans have sort of made a weird alliance with the fire. Well, kind of unilaterally, Quaritch made an alliance with the fire avatars,
Yeah,
and they're camped at the base, the human base.
yeah. They're actually they're building like felt tents inside the human base.
And kind of, yeah, making the whole place stink of charcoal,
Yeah, with their weird
supposedly.
their weird bone chimes and
Neytiri also, we should talk about her before this too, because I really want to
yeah,
set this up because I love this scene. There's
yeah.
so
Because
much
because
good
because
stuff in this.
before this, she
Yeah,
really wanted to kill Spider,
yeah.
and like
And she
and
was she was totally intolerant of like at times even Jake
yeah, well,
because he
like
wasn't a real Navi.
at one point, like Jake is like, "No, we're not going to kill Spider," and her response is like, are you just going to, because you said so?"
Yeah. Everyone wants to kill Spider. And
Yeah,
after that, Jake even wanted to kill him.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Neytiri is just she's like an ignorant Navi. She doesn't respect the water Navi. She doesn't respect the humans.
which is
She,
weird because her role in her tribe is as a holy woman.
uh,
Like I guess the same is true for Fire Lady. So
yeah. But I don't know. I kind of like that dynamic. She kind of reminds me of like a spoiled brat, actually, a little bit. She kind of doesn't like anything that's outside of her like comfort zone, you
well,
know.
she's the only member of like the main cast that isn't part human in some way.
Uh-huh.
So like
And
and
she has like an air of superiority, I guess, is what I'd say. So, because
yeah,
she was kind of nobility in her tribe. One of the things that this movie is sort of teaching us is sort of the whole idea of embracing the beast, you know, is like, and it's sort of like the whole becoming the monster, sort of like Django. It's like
yeah,
very clearly the same idea
yeah. Like very
as
like they
Django.
yeah, like they made a big deal about like, no, I don't want to ride Taruk anymore. Like it'll like that turns me into a dangerous person.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to become the monster to repel a worse monster,
Hmm.
but then you need to go come back to who you are.
Yeah,
But
and like
if you become the monster for too long, then you become the monster, you
and
know.
that's exactly what the whales were concerned about.
Yeah, yeah. That because in their wisdom they know that that's like a danger in becoming a monster is you might not be able to return, you know. It might kill everything good in you.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's that the infinite cycle of violence of we're gonna kill a bunch of your people, and now you have a cause for revenge, and you come back and kill a bunch of us, and now we have a new cause for revenge, and it just goes on infinitely.
yeah, and it can, yeah. Until both cultures are, or both, clans are just completely destroyed.
Yeah, although the humans seem very unconcerned with revenge. They're uh
Yeah, for the most part, everyone except for Quaritch is just sort
yeah.
of just trying to bleed as much out of this place as possible.
Hmm.
But so I think what the people of the Ash represent is the monster, you know. So they represent the monster that you can become. And so when, Quaritch paints his face as the monster, he's getting this extra monstrous power out of it, And
Hmm.
then, but when Neytiri paints her face as the monster, which she does, that red paint on her face,
Yeah.
that's her saying, "I'm becoming the monster. I'm 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 letting go of my nobility. I'm letting go of all of my prior beliefs because for this moment, I need to become a monster to repel the worst monster." And then so that's why and then that's also when she uses the RPG tipped arrows.
Yeah.
So she's like actually
She,
realizing
she,
the necessity for
yeah, she's not
stepping
only
outside.
wearing the paint, she's kind of using their tools.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And um committing acts of violence, which
Yeah.
she's
Although
against.
the RPG arrows are kind of yet another instance of hybridization
Yeah,
of a
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a
But
the,
it
the
also
Navi arrow.
is it also is like sort of a it's showing Neytiri she's now okay with that under certain circumstances. Like
Yeah.
she understands
The yeah,
the
the taboo has been breached.
the taboo's been breached on that for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then she goes in there and is kind of a badass. Great scene where she disguises herself, just like Django disguised himself as the slaver. She disguised herself as the worst thing possible to her, which is somebody who is an enemy of Eywa.
Well, and also, I think the that scene also exposes the Ash people as bad allies because they're like they have like the regular RPGs with the launchers and stuff, and they're flying monsters around chasing Neytiri and shooting their own rockets like all around this base, and it's like
Yeah.
blowing up all kinds of random shit.
Yeah, they just have no regard for consequences.
They're forces of pure destruction,
Yeah.
and
So
like even though
the more destruction, the better, even.
yeah, the humans are like destroying the forest, but they're also like very dramatic, very like clearly creatures of order.
There's a
They build
purpose.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
they build things. They make stuff. They have goals, and the Fire Navi are just pure chaos.
Yeah. And then okay, and then now we get to the scene where Natiri's like washing the red off of her.
Yeah, the red and black paint, and then she sees the red on her hands in a very we know what that's from.
Hmm.
And then realizes that violence against innocence is just not cool, and she goes and tries to stop Jake from killing Spider.
Yeah, yeah. And then she learned, so I love that she had that arc in this movie because that's so like so and it sort of reminds me of like the whole Jung idea, which is to incorporate your shadow, you know. So he has you have your ego And then, if you're walking around without an idea that you have a shadow side, you're kind of weak, you know. You need to incorporate your shadow into who you are,
Hmm.
or else you'll get pushed around all the time. And then, but then you have to be able to control that shadow. Like you're opening like a Pandora's box once
Yeah.
you tap into that shadow. But once you get control of that shadow, then you become like a fully integrated person and you can control you can use the energy in your shadow for power, but not let it get out of control, is the
Yeah, yeah.
idea.
You can let the beast out, but you still have it on a leash to
You
some
have a
extent.
just like the what's his name?
I,
The
I think its
dragon?
name is just Taruk.
Taruk. Yeah, Taruk, perfect example of that whole idea, just
Yeah,
encapsulated in that.
of a leashed beast with like an
Yeah.
actual leash with
Yeah.
their head braid things.
And then so she went in, met her shadow, used the power of her shadow to accomplish you know, this attempted assassination, I guess, of I don't even really know why she was in there.
I think she
Um,
won. I think she won. I think it was a rescue mission.
oh, she was rescuing Spider?
No, she was rescuing Jake.
Oh, that's right. It was a rescue mission. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because because she shows up, sneaks into the Oracle or the Fire Lady's tent, asks and like demands at knife point to know where Jake is.
Uh-huh. That's right. Um,
Mhm. Which I feel like this series has a a small tangent. I think the series has a nasty habit of emasculating its villains too frequently.
how so?
Um,
Quaritch definitely in this movie, Quaritch was definitely getting that point.
this movie and last movie is just Quaritch in the first movie is just Quaritch just getting handed like a just an infinite series of losses. Just he's just
Yeah.
taking the L's back to back. Um, so it like that happened to him, and then like Fire Lady gets has like three or four separate scenes where she like the Jake Sully crew like each take a turn beating her up. Like Nitiri gets her, Jake beats her up. I think at some point, Kiri uh,
Yeah,
beats her
definitely
at the
dominates her.
in the in the wizard battle. Then like the Australian guy just gets has taken a bunch of losses. The humans in general like lose every big battle they go into.
So, okay, so she goes in there and then tries to save Jake. She fails, and then but through the process of
She does save Jake
oh, she does save Jake. Well,
because Jake gets out on her flying monster.
oh, okay. Oh, okay, so that was another
Because
thing that happened. Yeah, so
if she wasn't there, Jake would not have gotten out.
absolutely. Yeah, she started the whole thing. There was also a moment in the whole rescue where she was originally very closed off and very ignorant of other cultures. She is hiding under like the base in the water. So she's half in the water on her flying creature dressed as a fire person. So all three movies are encapsulated in her just in that moment. And it just
Yeah,
shows like, okay, she's fully integrated, you know? She's integrated her shadow and she's integrated all these three cultures. And now she has the power of all three of them by that integration. And that's kind of
yeah.
the lesson of Eywa too, is like we're more powerful together. Like we're more powerful as an entire planet,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
She's also the one who never really took on the water culture.
Yeah.
Like even
That's what I mean.
there,
Yeah. She
yeah,
was like she hated them. She was like thumbing her nose up at them the whole time she was there.
yeah.
So,
She would get into constant arguments with the water holy
yeah.
woman.
Yeah, yeah, even in this one, she was like arguing about like those herbs will never do anything, I
Yeah,
wish
the
that I had
forest
my
herbs are
medicine.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so this in this movie, Neytiri actually develops quite a bit as a
Yeah, and
character, as
she
a person or avatar person.
yeah, and she even like closes the loop with the holy woman for the water people by kind of midwifing her child
Yeah.
in a scene that I was not mega fond of. Like why is she going like the last scene before the big fight scene is her saying like, "Oh, I have contractions," and
Uh-huh.
then she goes off to the big fight, and I'm like, "What?"
That's how badass they are. I do like the line though where the water mom was like, I have to give birth before I die, and she's like telling Neytiri, and Neytiri just turns around and she's like, then push.
Yeah,
You
yeah. Like
know?
I have to push out this baby first, and she's like, "Then
Yeah.
start pushing."
Yeah, then start pushing. What are you waiting for? What do you want me
Yeah.
to I do like the impatience. So, I feel like James Cameron gets impatient by the end of the script, and he just it carries through into the characters because it's something similar to that has happened to every Avatar, where it's like they get impatient with each other, dragging
Mm.
the story along. But yeah, I think that's a major theme of the whole series is this whole idea of integrating is the way it's kind of like the power your power comes from integrating.
Yeah,
And
because like the end of the second movie was really just the water Navi,
yeah.
and so this movie is we're seeing like the integration of like the forest Navi and the water Navi like working together in this big battle,
Yeah.
um, where they took the biggest flying gunship and the biggest boat, and like this is the most powerful army that the humans have made so far, and then we have to the forest and the water Navi with the whales and Eywa getting all the animals together like she did in the first movie.
hmm
Like we have this large integration of like a much more expansive Navi culture coming together to fight the humans. And at the end of the next movie, it's going to be the air Navi or whatever
I don't think the
joining the
fire
coalition.
Navi will
I think
ever
they're
be
dead.
integrated.
I think
Did
they're
they all
straight up
die?
like I don't know. There might be like one token fire Navi of being like, oh, we've learned our lesson, but uh, I don't think they're coming back. I think they're gone.
Well, they could survive as the symbol, like as the symbolic in some way of the shadow, you know.
Is Fire Lady dead? I think she got away.
I think she might have gotten away, yeah.
Yeah, so here's another, you know, fully emasculated villain that's going to come back and, you know, begin the next movie as a swaggering badass and just hope that the audience forgets.
Yeah. She was kind of badass though. Her character was really good because she was like very seductive as well as just as, violent. Like
Yeah.
she had this sort of she would just sway whenever she walked anywhere and she would like,
Yeah,
bend people to her
you can easily
wills.
see how she would take control of this tribe just through force of personality.
hmm Especially if
Uh
like most of them are men. You
yeah.
know, she could like control them without even like mind controlling them or,
Well, yeah,
you
there's
know,
also like
hair controlling them.
there's also like the normal way of just or not the normal way, just like drugs. Like the drugs are a big thing.
Yeah, that's true. I have a prediction about Quaritch because
I I
is
think
he
he's I think
coming?
he's I think
He
he's eventually going to turn traitor.
Well, first off, at the end of this movie, he pretty clearly died, right? Like this avatar of his. You don't think
Nope,
so?
nope, nope, nope. He fell into a
A flux
void,
storm.
into the
Yeah.
flux storm, which I guess is also its own thematic thing where it eats metal but leaves knives and people in Navi
Mm-hmm.
alive. But like yeah, like he just we just saw him fall and he just fell. So he landed in the water and then like popped up out and then swam to safety. Like I have
Probably.
if Quaritch was dead, he'd be obviously dead.
And it would have to be Spider that kills him too. Like I would think, like in a very Star Wars way. Um but my prediction with him is you know how the idea of reincarnation is like in like the Hindu or the Buddhist way or whatever is like you come back to live life over and over and over again until you get it right.
Until you learn the lessons, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's Quaritch because every
he's
time he's come back, he's become more um he's realized more and he's like learned more about life and he's becoming slowly a better person.
well, he's had a respect for Pandora since the very beginning. Like he showed off his giant scar
Yeah.
and is like, yeah, I could fix this. I could get the surgery away, but I don't want to forget to respect Pandora.
Hmm.
And I think this respect for Pandora is going to be like eventually what turns him.
It would be such a good thing for the series because there's no one that you expect less to be on the side of the Na'vi than him, right?
Yeah,
He's like so annoying as a villain. And so he's like a mosquito that never goes away. For him to finally be on our side, it would just be that would be so that would be so awesome to see, you know. And
yeah, like
the his
it's
transformation is something that needs the entire arc of the series to to
so
allow,
yeah,
or else it wouldn't be
um,
believable. But I'm
yeah, because
slowly starting to believe, Nick.
yeah, so he's operating as like a foil for Jake, but I think that the general lady is kind of operating as a foil for Quaritch. Yeah, where she's like, no, we're doing this by the book. You're this is crazy. You're making all these decisions that are my decisions to make. Like you can't just unilaterally build an alliance with these crazy people without my command. Well, I guess like going off orders is also a big thing that happens in the Sully family.
Pandora is turning everybody there against the authority. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's just Pandora's nature is, you know,
yeah, like it's
like everyone that's touched Pandora, like even the Colonel, is just weirdly just he got too close to Pandora, and now he's just infected by it, sort of like the spirit of it, you know?
yeah, like and even like the warrior whale from the second movie.
Hmm.
There was a scene that like makes perfect sense within the context of the movie, but is still like unintentionally hilarious. Where Jake is like talking about the whale, and he's like, "He's a loose cannon."
Yeah. I like how human Jake is too. It kind of as a Navi, it kind of makes you laugh at humanity a little bit because
Yeah.
like there was a moment where he was pushing his sons out of the council, and then to all the other Navi who wouldn't understand this phrase at all, he says, "Make a hole." All right, everybody, make a hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's just uh I love Jake.
I did remember that moment, the make a hole moment.
Eventually the Colonel, who's the last one you would expect, will become one with Eywa, and he'll become like a spiritual devotee.
Well, like I don't know,
I can't wait
like
to see that.
okay, so here's James Cameron's favorite maneuver in these movies, which is like the surprise reinforcements during the last battle.
Hmm.
I'm making a prediction now of there's going to be a surprise
Oh
reinforcements
yeah.
moment with Quaritch and the Fire Navi.
Oh shit. Okay, I like that. Like the Riders of Rohan at Minas Tirith.
Yeah, of like it's like everything's going so poorly. This is terrible. Like how we've exhausted all of our ideas, and then like Quaritch with like the Fire Navi show up with their rocket launchers and guns and shit, and just it seems like they all died, but like they can regenerate off screen. It's fine. They escape the fire people by like very very early on in the movie. They escape the fire people by going into a river
Hmm.
and hiding in the river from them. So that's kind of more of this kind of like fire and water being forces of opposition.
They both serve a purpose, you know. So that's why even though the fire seems like you want to stay away from it, it serves a purpose to help with the fight that they're fighting. So the way of water, we learn interconnectedness. We need to get everybody together to
Mm-hmm.
to 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 fight the humans. And with the fire, it's you need to be a monster, you know.
Yeah, we need we need
So,
we need yeah we need to learn to let the beast out, be violent, use their tools against them.
well, I guess, the last big set piece of the movie I think that I have in my notes is sacrifice of Spider moment where Jake stops by the river and tells Natiri, "We have to kill Spider now, or else if they capture him, they're going to use his, you know, ability to breathe in the Avatar air."
Oh yes, it's like the sacrifice of the mountaintop with the guy and his son. Uh,
Abraham and Isaac.
yeah,
Yeah.
Abraham and Isaac.
It was like complete. It was like straight out of the pages of the Bible. That was, you know,
Yeah,
that was a
although
great, it was a great moment too. Like
yeah,
it was very dramatic.
although it could have been even more on the nose. Because what stops Abraham in the story is a burning bush.
Oh, okay.
Like it's actual fire as a
Yeah.
sign from God telling him to not go through with the sacrifice.
It was an intervention from God, but in this, I don't think that there was Eywa didn't intervene. Eywa,
It was just Jake kind of realizing this was
yeah.
uh, a thing that he shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so but why not though? Like that I think that's the key to the whole movie, you know, is
Well, I
why.
think it's about like the whole movie is about the Sully clan is this huge thing of like we we don't give up, we stick together. It's us against the world. No matter what happens, we still have each other. Like that, all of those motifs get repeated over and over and over again. And I think this is less of convincing Jake to change his mind and more about just him finally internalizing Spider as family. We're not internalizing, but like
Yeah.
recognizing him as family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like like
Cuz
this is the moment where Spider is a part of the clan. Full stop.
yeah, he is completely integrated
Yeah,
into the Sully clan, which is like that was even harder to do than becoming an avatar, you know?
yeah,
I kind of thought it had more to do with like cuz Jake approached things in the beginning of the movie far too practically. He had all these practical reasons for doing things. Like they couldn't practically keep Spider alive with his mask. It was the correct practical decision to send him away. But it was emotionally and the
Disowning.
it was emotionally disowning him. Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
and it was emotionally the wrong thing to do because Spider is a good kid, and
he's a part of the family. He's
he's
loyal.
basically everyone else agrees that he's a part of the family. Even Jake agrees, And so, like, even though he doesn't have any of the traits that the Sullies do,
Hmm.
he's he's proved himself with his willingness to be a part of the family, and it's kind of like the way
Although
that
it's a little okay. Keep going.
well, it's kind of I was just gonna say it's a bit of the similar way that Jake is trying to prove himself as being a Na'vi, to
Hmm.
to Pandora is like
But I think that ship has sailed, like to the point where he actually has to remind Neytiri that he has like a human brain, and that he's a Skype
yeah,
blood heart.
but he still doesn't really have the faith that the others do in Eywa. Like he's not really he's far too practical. Still got
Yeah,
that part of his humanness in him, where it's like all the other Na'vi, they're like, let Eywa do it, Let Eywa give yourself up to Eywa and let her protect you. He's still in this like human mode of like, I have to control this. I have to control things. I have to make this right. I have to make all these decisions to make things go. And he's still holding on to that, And so when he kills or he wants to kill a spider, it's that he's clouded by his practicality and his humanness.
but like
And
Neytiri's wanted to kill him this whole time, and she's the least human of the
well,
crew.
why does she want to kill it? Why does she want to kill him?
Well, they both want to kill him for the same reason, which is that the uh, if the humans if the humans figure out how to reverse engineer the his breathing thing, then the human problem becomes 10 times worse because colonization gets that much easier. I think that's the argument that they're both trying to make.
Well, I don't think she liked him ever,
Well,
even
straight
before
up,
that.
like
Yeah.
I don't. She's like, I don't like their pink little hands.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, what did they call each other? Pink butt,
Pink skin.
pink skin.
Yeah, she called him pink skin. I think they called each other like. Oh yeah. Kiri actually calls him pink butt. Which is like the perfect sort of an adolescent kind of juvenile permutation of a slur. Is that?
Yeah. So when Jake goes to sacrifice Spider. Just because I've seen enough movies, I know that it's not going to happen, but I don't know why it's not going to happen. And there's one of three things that can happen is first, like you mentioned, Awok could intervene.
Yeah.
And then what I thought was going to happen was Neytiri was going to intervene because she realized at some point along the river, is that when she was washing off
Yeah.
the
That's
paint?
like while Jake was taking
Oh
Spider off to
yeah.
the woods
Oh,
to kill him, uh,
perfect,
Miller's
perfect
Crossing
thematic
style.
moment. Perfect.
Yeah.
Because that she was taking the monster off of her face and she
Hmm.
came to the realization like that's a monstrous thing to do. That's not what we're like. That's what
Yeah.
we should not be about that. And she goes to run to stop him. But Jake is the one that makes the decision himself,
Yeah.
which is
To quote Hot Fuzz, he shot his gun in the air and went ah.
ah. You have a shot, yeah, going in there and going, oh.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
that's
so
I
well,
feel
yeah, go on.
I think it would have been a better, more powerful scene if Neytiri actually did stop it. If she actually did wash the paint off, like wash
Yeah.
the blood off her hands, and then ran off and kind of did a role reversal where she was the one who wanted to, like, she recognized before Jake did that Spider is truly family.
Yeah.
But
And
Jake makes that.
she came around for emotional reasons. She came around, whereas Jake
Well,
was killing him for practical reasons. He emotionally liked Spider, but
Jake eventually didn't kill him for emotional reasons too. Like
well,
he wasn't convinced on practical terms. He just kind of realized that where Spider like as he's sort of accepting his fate as this, like where he's kind of like where Spider is like recognizing that he must die in order to like keep the sky people from or the humans from reverse engineering his fungus lungs. He's actually like referring to Jake in more and more familial terms,
Yeah.
where he's like Sir Jake, and then at one point he accidentally calls him Dad,
Yeah.
and I think that's what stopped
That's a good
Jake.
point. That's a good
Yeah,
point. Yeah. Because he broke Jake out of his clouded practical mindset, made him see the humanity of what he was doing, or the inhumanity of what he was doing.
yeah. And they all
And
hug as a family and cry.
yeah, but two more things on that. First, I think if Jake didn't come to the realization himself, I wouldn't like him anymore. I would
Yeah,
think it would be too unlikable. And
yeah.
it,
Like
yeah,
because Spider is so incredibly noble all the time.
yeah.
Like if you like if you're going to kill someone for the greater good, and then they like look up and you're like, you're right, this is for the greater good. Like
Yeah,
then killing that person just becomes 10 times harder.
the greater good.
The greater good.
And also, it kind of reminds me of a comedy bit where the comedian's like, "What do you think their conversation was like on the way down from the mountain?" He's, Isaac and Abraham. It's like that must be awkward. There's nothing that says, first off, that the humans can never come up with that technology on their own
Well,
and
like
just
like
figure it out.
the reason why I thought it was silly was because like the humans are doing like have a thriving civilization, well, not civilization, but a thriving like they're
Base.
surviving incredibly well. This base is very successful without the breathing technology. Like they're just they seem to be doing fine, just living within their compounds and like a slowly expanding, encroaching series
Yeah.
like of habitation compounds seems to be an entirely practical way for the humans to live on Pandora.
Well, the whole reason for the avatar was to kind of, well, blend in with them, but also like they're kind of secluded in their base because they can't breathe. Like they need the base. They're like trapped there for
Yeah.
survival. And so they can't really exert themselves too far. They have to sort of do it one step at a time.
Well, it seems like in the first movie where the wildlife was still dangerous, the reason why they were stuck in the base was because of the wildlife
Yeah.
and the Navi.
Um,
It seemed like they could just put their masks on and go out into the woods anytime they wanted to,
yeah.
and it wasn't the breathing that stopped them from doing that. It was like the things living in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. But, they made a whole point of like the breathing is difficult. It hampers you. So it's like you were saying at the very beginning, like what if what if the whole thing is just about the interaction with Awa and everyone else is just misunderstanding why Spider was able to breathe on Pandora? Maybe it was just purely Awa's decision and there is just no other way to do that. Like
That well, like that's my belief and it's your belief that like the process of that this process is not replicable and scalable.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
In not
I
Whalen Utani terms. Yeah, you're putting it in
yeah,
business terms.
like they like like I don't think that they could like or at least the way it's portrayed in the movie, it seems like the humans could never figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it was a
Um,
totally mystical process, and
yeah,
it
where she
was
like
something.
grabbed the seed of Eywa and like
Yeah,
put it in his mouth and then like communed with the forest god and had like these like tendrils like come out all by themselves
and they looked
and
a
like
little bit
reach into
like
his mouth.
spider webs,
Yeah.
which made it. But yeah,
Um
and it kind of
but like
reminded me
but the thing is that
also. Yeah,
like the humans in the movie don't know that's true. Like the humans have every reason to believe that whatever these tribal people in their mud huts did to get Spider to breathe, they could replicate.
Yeah, they
Like
believe that. Yeah.
yeah, like the thing that annoyed me is that why Jake and Neytiri, who have talked to God, also thought that this was
Well,
something that the humans could reverse engineer.
because even though they're Avatar and they're adults, they are missing a lot of the lessons of Eywa, you know. Whereas
The
whereas
children are a little more open minded.
yeah, like Kiri is totally in touch, in tune with Eywa, like through
Well,
her
yeah,
intuition
yeah.
and
Well, her
stuff.
mind is so open that she like has a seizure
Yeah,
every time she tries to talk to Eywa.
yeah,
Like the very that one's actually very historical. Where that's what like ancient peoples thought was happening during seizures,
uh-huh.
where
Well, eh, yeah,
the gods would like these people were touched by the gods, and the gods would just take control, like seize them.
oh, interesting. That's why it's called that.
I think so.
Ah, okay. So where were we? We were at
I think
Spider.
we're Spider and his Abraham and Isaac moment.
Yeah.
I think like
Oh
I think
yeah. Okay.
that
So Jake still doesn't understand what even Curie understands about why Spider is able to breathe now, right? That's what we think.
yeah, like I don't like it's actually not entirely clear what Jake and Neytiri think happened because
Yeah, they didn't.
neither of them really describe it as a mystical process. They're not in awe in the way that you'd expect them to be.
Yeah.
That this tremendous magical thing just happened.
But it is
Um,
Pandora, you know.
yeah,
But it was kind of funny when Spider was just like, "Oh yeah, I can breathe now." There were a couple clunky lines like that where it's like you're just kind of undercutting the logic of your own world here. But I don't
I
know.
think he was. I think that was him. Like I think the intention was him like being intentionally cutting the tension with comedy.
Yeah.
But I would have liked the scientists to be also more in awe. I want like no one like this thing just happened and no one really gave it the respect that it deserved.
Yeah.
like this is kind of incredible.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's what it reminded me of from a different James Cameron movie because it requires faith to be able to do that, you know?
Yeah,
So, with everybody, like except for Jake, Sigourney Weaver died and then she came back as Kiri, basically.
yeah.
And
And
then,
then like
yeah,
every time they commune with Awa, they see all of their dead relatives.
yeah,
So like this magic is, I guess, to a certain extent real.
yeah.
In a
Oh,
they don't
man.
need to be
Yeah,
convinced that miracles can happen through Awa because they're the faithful.
yeah. And I forgot there was a whole other thing I needed to talk about. So I was gonna end it with that scene, but there's a whole other thing that I want to talk about. But
Okay, let's go.
yeah, I think that has to do with that whole ending scene of meeting all the dead people at the end, which was oh my God, that he knows how to end a movie. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that made me tear up. That was so beautiful.
We got to see the brother again. Who last episode I complained
Yeah.
that that they gave Jake Sully one too many kids, so they could have one die off to
Hmm.
like the least characterized one can die off to raise the stakes.
Yeah, and we get to see him again, and but
Yeah,
and they started the movie with that too, you know.
yeah. So they like at the very like in the same way that the whole second movie wasn't forgotten the way that I assumed it was gonna be.
Hmm.
Like the
The second
uh
brother was also
the
not
yeah
forgotten.
yeah
But it's kind of ironic that, there's this quest for immortality,
with the brain juice.
with the brain juice. And then also Quaritch is kind of immortal in a certain way because he can just be keep regenerated.
Yeah, although like I don't
But
know, it's
but true immortality,
is gifted to the Na'vi through their connection with Eywa.
exactly, you live forever within Eywa. You become immortal. And that's actually, but that's the immortality that requires you to really have faith. You need to
Yeah.
die, to become one with Eywa. And it reminds me of that scene from The Abyss where they have the breathing underwater stuff. Is that The
Hmm.
Abyss or is that
That's the abyss.
okay? They have the breathing underwater stuff and it needs to suffocate you for it to work. So you need to have
Yeah.
that leap of faith.
Yeah, like when he pushes the rat into the thing, it's like okay, it's
Yeah.
okay, he's just drowning.
Yeah, exactly. You need to drown to be able to breathe underwater.
Yeah,
So, and it's the same thing. Spider needed to die to be reborn as a Navi. And
and
really, the only way to become immortal, out of all this obsession with becoming immortal in on Pandora, because of Pandora, the only way to be immortal is to die on Pandora believing in Eywa, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I think that's hopefully like I'm glad they brought the whales back. I'm glad they brought them back. Like I'm glad that we didn't just forget the second movie. I think we're done with the whales. I think we can. I think we've
you're
closed that loop.
I'm just about done with the whales. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
done with them too.
they can show up as reinforcements in future battles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that's going to be their job.
All right, so that's you want to end on that?
Yeah,
We're
I
done with the
think
whales.
yeah. We spent all this time talking about our favorite scene, and now we're, we're kind of ending on a whimper.
Yeah, a
Mhm.
subtle whale call. Let's hear your best whale call, Nick. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Mine's more like
Okay, like when they're above the water and they're kind of
when
like
they're above
vibrating.
the water's vibrating. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, I think we solved once again an Avatar movie. So,
Hmm.
congratulations on that. When there's more Avatar movies, we'll be there to solve them too. So,
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good couple of years.
yeah. And
Although
if
we
the
might,
podcast is still around, then
if the podcast is still around, we might be reviewing a Billie Eilish concert movie.
hmm, yeah. It'll be my pleasure. All
Yeah.
right. Goodbye, pink skin.
Goodbye, Pink Butt.
And that was the Mythic Movie Maker podcast.